It is a real gift to have Jenny here with us on board as our founding head of school. It's a big position, a lot of work ahead. Pray for her, please. You know, a Catholic school brings a lot of energy, a lot of life. I mean, it's an exciting time. Hard to imagine in less than a year we'll welcome our first children to class. Catholic school, provides many benefits, one of which I think of is the weekly Mass that the kids will go to. We're planning 2 Masses each week for the kids if we can get our pastor to get off his laziness and go forward. But we also offer Mass once a week for our CYF children, Catholic Youth Formation. That's religious ed program for kids who are not in a Catholic school, who go to a public school or homeschooled. So every Wednesday we give them a chance to come here, and it's a special event. They get to participate in this great act of redemption, most importantly, and it gives me a chance to visit with them, and them a chance to visit with me a little bit during the homily, and as well as giving them opportunities to participate in Mass and ministries and such. Even when there are really long readings and long sentences, difficult vocabulary, it's good for them. Such was the case this past Wednesday when we had a little excerpt from one of Paul's letters. And Paul, long sentences and lots of difficult vocabulary. Paul, he had persecuted the church, remember, until the event on the road to Damascus, the conversion event where he encountered Jesus. And then he set off preaching the very faith that he had persecuted. And that's where our letter picked up, our reading picked up. He said, for 14 years, I was preaching and teaching without consulting anyone. But then he said, after those 14 years, I went to the pillars of the church, Peter, James, and John, pillars like we're going to have in the church that hold up the structure. Individuals symbolized by those who have given life, who've provided for the faith. So he said, I went to the pillars, Peter, James, and John, and laid out everything that I have been teaching so that I would not run or work in vain. What saves us is not from man. It's not from Paul. It's not from me. It's not from you. The only thing that saves us comes from him and runs through the apostles. And so Paul was bringing what he had taught to them to say, is this okay? Now, among all the vocabulary in that letter, we dwelt just a little bit on the word vain. And, well, I use this example from my days in elementary school. It probably happened more than once. That is where maybe I didn't listen to the teacher very carefully, and I did my homework, my assignment, and turned it in, and she said, that's not what I asked for. Do it again. Apparently, I was not the only one to have that experience. It's like, man, I've wasted all this time. I did this in vain, right? The church speaks of a wise vision of life as the goal of Catholic education, as the goal of life. The first reading says it's not scepter and throne. That could be conceived as power, right? Prestige, notoriety. Nor is it gold, the reading said, or what you can buy with gold. No, you can have these and still be miserable, as we see in many celebrities. And interestingly enough, the reading from Wisdom said, it's not health either. It's not health, nor is it comeliness. Love that word. Right? It's not physical beauty, appearance. No, but what did our reading say? I prayed and prudence was given me. Prudence is the virtue that allows you to see things as they are. I prayed and prudence was given me. I pleaded and the spirit of wisdom came to me. I preferred her to scepter and throne, etc. Now remember that the Bible says that Christ is the power and the wisdom of God. Christ is what a wise way of living looks like. In Jesus, we see wisdom incarnate in the flesh. So we don't have to wonder what a wise vision of life looks like, or anxiously wonder if we're missing the purpose for our life that we've been created for, that we're not misspending our life. I mean, clearly you can see, I would think, the value of having Mass integrated into your day. Because here you're holding out what wisdom incarnate. Wisdom is that virtue which sees the particular things. You're like the different subjects in school, math and science. It sees technology. It sees the events of life. It sees war. It sees famine, poverty. Wisdom is that virtue which sees the particulars in light of the whole, of the bigger picture. So you see how they all fit together and begin to construct an answer as to why. And to see, well, this particular thing is out of order. I'm giving too much precedence to it, to its time to it. I mean, you can see the value of Mass integrated into education, and you can see the value of Catholic education that we'll provide for your children at our academy. Rigorous academics and standards, yes, but not as an end in themselves, but as a means to the good life, right? That what you want for your children. Not just money, not just material things, not just success, from your own life. That's nice, but boy, is that not enough. Friends, let's conclude by simply placing ourselves in today's gospel. Visualize it. Close your eyes if you want to. There's the man. He approaches Jesus. He kneels down. And you're there too. You're about to kneel before him. I mean, you keep the commandments. You're here at Mass. But being minimalistic is not for you anymore than it was for that man back then. I want something more than just the bare minimum. So he kneels, you kneel before Jesus, the wisdom of God, who now looks at you and loves you. What do you hear him say that you lack? What do you hear him say that you lack? What might make you sad if you left it behind, but deep down know that you should? Deep down in your heart of hearts, you know, I'm doing that in vain. May we have the wisdom to see and the courage to do that which would help us and others secure the good life, life eternal.